Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's law is wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else even cared. Tupac Shakur.
Hi, this is Ishmael Reed from the Reed Reader, but an excerpt from his novel, The Freelance Pallbearers. And I ran until I stumbled over a man who was lying face down in the street. My heels spun as I flew into a row of garbage cans, causing the lids to tumble, clanging into the gutter. In front of the spent form rested a giant ball of light manure. Thinking that the man might be ill, I went over to him and tugged at his armpits. Lying next to his body was a piece of luggage upon which were pasted stickers with the names of several Western capitals. Aroused, he slowly turned over and rubbed his eyes. I recognized him at once. It was my old professor from the Harry Sam College, U2 polyglot, working out some empirical problems of his paper, The Egyptian Dung Beetle in Kafka's Metamorphosis. Buka, my boy, he said as he sat upright in the street, what are you doing outdoors in this grave crisis? All citizens have been advised to remain inside with their shades drawn and their fingers crossed.
Hi, this is Allie Arendt of the English department, and as part of this year's Black History Month Read Aloud, I wanted to share Lucille Clifton's poem, Won't You Celebrate With Me? Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come, celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Hi, my name is Dr. Stephen Thomas. I'm a professor in the English department here at Wagner College, and I have three short poems that I want to read, and they're short and they're all kind of related, and I hope you enjoy the relationship between them. The first poem is by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. She was one of the first African American poets way back in the 19th century, and she wrote this poem in the 1850s, I think in 1857. It's called Ethiopia, and she was part of the abolitionist movement against slavery, and she was inspired by the biblical verses about Ethiopia, which seem to prophesize or look forward to freedom. So here's that poem. Yes, Ethiopia yet shall stretch her bleeding hands abroad. Her cry of agony shall reach the burning throne of God. The tyrant's yoke from off her neck, his fetters from her soul. The mighty hand of God shall break and spurn the base control. Redeemed from dust and freed from chains, her sons shall lift their eyes. From cloud-capped hills and verdant plains shall shouts of triumph rise. Upon her dark, despairing brow shall play a smile of peace, for God shall bend unto her woe and bid her sorrows cease. 'Neath sheltering vines and stately palms shall laughing children play, and aged sires with joyous psalms shall gladden every day. Secure by night and blessed by day shall pass her happy hours, nor human tigers hunt for prey within her peaceful bowers. Then, Ethiopia, stretch, oh stretch thy bleeding hands abroad. Thy cry of agony shall reach and find redress from God. So that was her poem about how Ethiopia inspires her sense of freedom. Um, and she's an African American thinking about Ethiopia. But then I thought, why not read an Ethiopian poet also talking about freedom? So this is an Ethiopian poet named Johannes Admasu, and he wrote this poem in the Amharic language in 1962. And this is just a piece of it. And it's also about freedom. What significance attaches to this thing you call freedom? Is it to while away your days with no word spoken in utter silence? Or does it have another drift, whether by free choice or edict, What fate is this freedom awaiting? Whether in common speech or embellished writing, as free will is suspended, ere the law is scripted, what principles are suppressed while the tongue is muzzled? Is it slush, all hear nothing and a sigh, as it might well be turning a blind eye? By what name goes this doctrine so quelled in that adobe of yours, that bounteous land of the dead? So that's a piece of Johannes Admasu's poem, Este Tetayeku, which it's translated by another poet, Johannes Admasu. So he's an Ethiopian poet, but Ethiopia is a land of many different ethnic groups and languages. It's not just one. And a friend of mine who's from another ethnic group, the Oromo, she was a refugee to the United States because of some conflict in her country. And her family was refugees, and they grew up in the United States. And now she runs an organization that helps other refugees called the TIA Foundation. And when she was a college student, she wrote this poem about her Oromo identity, celebrating her Oromo identity and also talking about freedom. The title of the poem is Oromia, which is Oromia is the name of the territory or the region of Ethiopia where the Oromo live. And her name is Maimuna Hussein Katan. So here's that poem. Oromia. Our elders sing songs of spiritual liberation, political emancipation, and celebrate daily their right to be. Our youth sing songs of pure existence, mental joy, and positive vibrations to a higher level. We celebrate daily the right to be. I wore this title, Oromo, on my back like it was stuck on me with a stick of gum and energy full of negative connotations. Unaware of the beauty my people have brought to this world with pure Cushitic rituals. Like a rite of passage, I carry the burdens of shame and confusion on my thin, slender shoulders, unaware that I too am still oppressed by snarling conversations and slick commentaries by those who want to know more about my lineage. So I'm here to tell you, I am an Oromo woman of Borana descent, a sister of the Gada nation. We are the artists, the poets, the merchants, the farmers, the warriors, the dancers, your servants and healers, enslaved for many generations, and to this day awaiting our liberation. Yes, our land is no longer on the map you created, but buried beneath the soil is a treasure of stories unheard, stories of royalty, stories of when Africa was one with her earth, a people who walk with Wake traditions and have mathematically calculated the perfect way of existence. Today, my people sing louder and dance so hard till beads of sweat shimmer on their foreheads and their necks swing back as their shoulders shake off any regrets or unhappiness. We dance to political music and love songs written by majestic poets, and my poetry is only an expression of the blood that runs through my veins, because my people are the artists, the poets, the merchants, the farmers, the warriors, the dancers, your servants and healers, enslaved for many generations, but have been liberated through songs of spirituality, political emancipation, mental joy, and positive vibrations to a higher level. And I celebrate daily the right to be. I celebrate daily the right to be an Oromo. Thank you all. Hope you like that. We kind of moved from African American poetry in the 1850s to an Ethiopian poet written in Amharic in the 1960s to an Ethiopian refugee who is ethnically Oromo, who now lives in California and has a foundation for immigrants and refugees in the United States. I hope you like the connection. It's all about freedom. Thanks, guys. Bye.